Apples. The bane of Adam. Apparently given to him by Eve, who got it from Lilith, his ex-wife. A little bit of spiteful there, huh? But apparently that began, all the troubles. If we're going to believe all the stories anyway. But there's many stories that kind of talk about the same dynamic. Whether we're looking at Lilith and Baal, or we're looking at God and Satan and so many other dynamics, religions and faiths that are attempting to explain to us our universe, our world around us. We're not primitive anymore, so to speak. We like to pride ourselves on being psychologically, spiritually, technologically evolved beings that understand our world around us so much more than they did in the past. Well, as we're coming to the end of this cycle, and this cycle kind of began back then, somewhere around 3000 BC, these are the belief systems that we're carrying with us, kind of deeply entrenched into our thinking, into our societies, into our cultures. You are responding to those old myths, those old legends, and you don't even know it. No, really. There's stuff that you think you believe, there's stuff that you think you know, that really isn't true. But it's been so entrenched into what your family believes and what their family and so on and so on and so on believes that it must be true. Well, I implore you to potentially challenge all of that. Not in a bad, nasty, screw you kind of a way that none of that stuff is true and none of it exists. It might exist, but it might not exist under the premise that you believe it does. In the old days, the primitive people used to, for example, pray to a rain god so that they could get, some crops happening. But they also prayed to other gods that dealt with their inner philosophies. Apollo, the god of war. And he kind of handled things that, war. And when people are arguing and conflict and all that taking place, kind of like an archetype, if you like, that's allowing you to explore a part of the psychology of what you are and what we all are. Even Freud, kind of exploring the dynamics that it's all about women, all about sex. Maybe that came right back from Lilith as well. So what I'm suggesting here is take some time out and really explore your world around you. Get to figure out what it is that you do know. Not what you think you know, but what you do know. Meanwhile, I'm going to get back to picking some apples for some wine here. This is good stuff. Oh.